Hi, let us go through the solutions of the work you were given yesterday. Now, the first question asked you to find the loss of a transaction which had happened. The question says a bicycle was bought at 750 kwacha and was later sold at 645 kwacha. Find the loss that was made. Now, I need to explain a few things here so that we understand what this topic is all about. So suppose I'm going to give an example. If David has he has an apple which he has bought at 2 kwacha. Okay, let's say he has bought this mango at 2 kwacha, but then he decides not to eat it. He decides to sell it to Joshua at 3 kwacha. Okay, so David says, hey Joshua, can you buy this mango at 3 kwacha? Now the question I want to ask you is, if David at first he had 2 kwacha and he used this 2 kwacha to buy this mango fruit, but later on he sells it to Joshua at 3 kwacha, how much more money does David now have? Okay, that is simple. You simply look at these two amounts of money. He had 2 kwacha, then the 2 kwacha has increased to 3 kwacha. So the increase from 2 to 3 kwacha is what is known as profit. And you can easily find that by doing 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 will give you 1. That means David has added a 1 kwacha on top of the 2 kwacha he had, and that is why 2 plus 1 gave him 3. So if I want to know the profit, I'll simply do a subtraction between the new value I have and the odd amount I had, which is 3 minus 2, and it gives 1. So now listen to this. If there is an increase from 2, the amount has increased to 3. That is known as a profit. Okay, and what is the profit? The profit is to find the amount of increase. In this case, 2 has increased by 1 to make 3, and that means the profit is 1 kwacha. Okay, so now this question asks about a bicycle which was bought at 750 kwacha. So the bicycle was bought at 750 kwacha. Okay, and it was later sold at 645 kwacha. 645 kwacha. So we want to find the difference. Okay, 0 minus 0. Here you have 0. You have 0. We are going to put the point there. Okay, 0 minus 5. Well, 0 is a smaller number, so for us to make it bigger so that we can take out 5 from it, we're going to borrow a 1 from 5 and bring it here so that this becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5, and after we took a 1 from this 5, it will become 4, so that this now is 4 minus 4 is 0, and then 7 minus 6 is 1. So what that means is the loss is 105 kwacha. So it is a loss because it was bought at a higher amount, 750, but then it was sold at a lower amount. Okay, but if it was sold at a higher amount, it would have been profit. So the answer is 105 kwacha. Okay, let us put a dot and 2 zeros so that it is exactly in the same format the way these two numbers were given to us. Let's move on to the next question. So question 2 says Mutale had $28. He bought a shirt and a pair of shoes, and his change was $3. How much did he spend? Now always remember, this symbol is a dollar symbol. It can be a kwacha symbol. Well, whatever symbol it is, the mathematics is still the same. Yeah, so now when Mutale had $28, okay, this is 28. This is the money he had before he spent it on anything, but he bought something. Now when you buy something, your money is subtracted. So from this amount of 28, some amount was subtracted. He used it to buy a shirt and shoes. Now we don't know what that amount is though, so I'm going to write an X. We want to know what amount that was which he spent on a shirt and a pair of shoes. But we are told that after that amount, whatever amount that was removed from 28, the amount which remained was $3. So the question is, how much did he spend? In other words, we want to know what is X. Okay, so what are you supposed to do? We need we need to put like terms together, and we put X on one side, and we take this number 3 on this side so that numbers can be together and the X can be on its own. Now remember, whenever you move a number from one side of the equation to the other, it changes the sign. So for example, when we move 3 to come this side, the 3 is going to become negative. So this is what's going to happen. So I'm going to have 28. I'll write 28 again. When 3 crosses the sign, it will become, crosses over the sign, it will be 28 minus 3. So this 3 is going to have a minus sign. And I'll take the X the other side, and that will make the X lose its negative sign. It means the X is simply going to become X as it is. So really what we are doing here is finding the value or the answer for 28 minus 3. So can you calculate that? What is 28 minus 3? 25, right? Okay, so 28 minus 3 is 25, and it's as simple as that. So what this means is X, this amount which was spent, which was removed from 28, was actually 25. So the amount that was spent on shoes and shirt, the amount that was spent was actually 25. Okay. Question 3 says if two shirts cost 150 kwacha, how much will 12 shirts cost of the same type? Okay, so this is what we do. We use cross multiplication here. We're going to do cross multiplication. We are going to say 2 times x. We'll write 2x here like this, equals 12 times 150. Now to find the value of x, we need to divide both sides of the equation by 2. So we can further reduce, we can move on here and say 2x equals, you need to find the value of 12 times 150, which is 1,800. So we divide this side by 2. We also divide this side by 2. 2 into 2 is 1. So here we've remained with x. 2 into 2 is 1. 2 into 18 is 9. That makes x to be 900, and that's the answer. Question 4. Find 40% of 200. Now always remember that percent means out of 100. So this is the same as 40 over 100 times 200. Okay, so 40% of 200 is the same as writing 40 over 100 times 200. Now remember that any number which does not appear as a fraction, the way 200 is here, any number is always the same as over 1. So 40 times 200, we shall multiply the numbers on top and then those at the bottom. And this is going to give us 40 times 200. This will be 8,000. And then at the bottom, 100 times 1. This will be 100. So we can reduce this fraction by dividing 8,000 divided by 100. So these 2 zeros can go and those 2 zeros can go. So we have remained with 80 over 1, well, which is the same as 80. So the answer is 80. Okay, so in the next exercise I'll include some more questions on this just for me to see if you have understood what this is all about. Let's move on to question 5. Question 5. An amount of 360 kwacha was shared among 3 children in the ratio 2 to 3 to 4. Okay, and how much was the smallest share? Now we know that if 360 kwacha, let me put a K here, if 360 kwacha is shared in the ratio 2 to 3 to 4, how much was the smallest share? Now we know that the smallest number here is 2. Now we want to know what amount of money is represented by this 2. So what you do is, first, number 1, add these 3 numbers, 2, 3, and 4. So 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 4 is 9. Okay, so if you add 2 plus 3 plus 4, what you get is 9. Now to know what each of these 3 numbers represent, you have to make them a fraction of 9. So let us know how much money is represented by 2. I'll do 2 over 9, then times 360. Okay, so if you do your calculation, 360 times 2 will give you 720. Then 720 divided by 9 should give you 80. So that means this amount, this number here 2, which is the smallest, when we express it in form of the money kwacha, it will be 80 kwacha. And then 3 over 9 times 360 will give you, if you do your math, it will give you 120 kwacha. And lastly, 4 over 9, this 4 here, we'll say 4 over 9 times 360. When you compute that, it will give you something like 160 kwacha. So you can see that we have 3 amounts, 80 kwacha, 120 and 160. And the smallest amount is 80 kwacha, which was represented in the ratio by 2. So the answer is 80 kwacha. Let me put the K here. Okay, let's move on to question 6. Question 6. A farmer planted cabbages in 9 rows. So a farmer makes these 9 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So okay, so this is a farmer. He has made these rows in the garden. Now each row had 108 cabbages. So each of these, this one has 108 cabbages. This one also has 108, and all these have 108, 108, 108. So now we are asked how many cabbages were planted altogether. So now if this is 108, this also is 108, this one is 108, up to the last one. How do we find the total number of cabbages? Well, the total number will be 108 plus 108 plus 108 plus 108. Now instead of doing it that way, we can express it in form of multiplication. We just need to say 108 multiplied by 9 rows. So in short, it will be 108 times 9. This simply means let 108 cabbages come 9 times. What will be the total? Okay, so the easiest way of doing it is to put the 9 down there so that you do the multiplication. So what is 8 times 9? 8 times 9 is 72. So you write the 2 here and you bring the carry 7 over there. And then you do what is 9 times 0. 9 times 0 is 0 plus 7. It will be 7 here. Then 9 times 1 is 9. Okay, so the answer is 972 cabbages. Let's move on to question 7. Question 7 says, how many faces does a cube have? Okay, so if we have a cube all we need to do is to try to count its sides. So you have this side here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, if we were to turn it around, at the bottom we have the 4th surface, then on the right here the 5th surface, on the left the 6th surface. So in total, actually, a cube has 6 faces. You can try to make your own sketch and just try to count these sides. 1, 2, 3, 4 at the bottom, 5 on the right, 6 on the left. So the answer is 6 surfaces. Okay, so a cube has 6 surfaces. Let's move on to question 8. Question 8. A rectangle material of length 10.4 meters is cut into 4 equal pieces. Find the length of each piece. Okay, so here they want us to divide the rectangle material. This rectangle material is 10.4 meters, but then it has been the material has been cut into 4 pieces. So now we need to find the length of each of these pieces. So what we are doing is we are actually dividing 10.4. we are dividing it by 4. Yeah, so there's a decimal point here, and this is a whole number, so that means whatever answer we find, the decimal point will be here. It has to be straight with this decimal point in the number we are dividing. So 4 into 10 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. Okay, here it is subtraction. 4 into 2, it can't, so you need to bring down 4 here so that it becomes 24. 4 into 24 is 6. 6 times 4, 24. Okay, when you subtract this, it will give you 0. So it means each piece is actually 2.6. Yeah, 2.6. So the answer is 2.6. Okay, let's do the last question. And just a minute before we do the last question, I need to mention that in case you are not very familiar with division using decimal point numbers, I have included a video which you can watch. Just check on the video list. There's a video you can watch on how to do division using decimal point numbers. Okay, let's move on to question 9. Okay, question 9 says set B equals or it has the following elements A, B, and C. How many subsets does set B have? Okay, so let us list the subsets. We can start with the very set itself. This is a subset, the very set itself. Now, of course, when you look at this A, B, C, it's the same number of elements in ABC, so this is an improper subset, or it is one of the subsets. And another subset is one consisting of A only. That's a proper subset because it is not equal to the set we are working on. B also, a set with B only is also a subset. Then this also is a subset. Then we also have A and B is also a subset. Then we can also have A and C. Then we can also have C and B. That is also a subset. And lastly, and Even more importantly, always remember an empty set is also a subset. So in total we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 subsets. But let me show you a trick here, which you can always use. Whenever you are given a set, if you want to know the total number of subsets which can come out of that set, simply do 2 to the power n. N represents the number of elements. So this set has 1, 2, 3 elements. So in other words, we are going to find 2 to the power 3. 2 to the power 3 is the same as 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So the number of subsets is 8. Alright, this is the end of the solutions. Please, can you do some more questions which have been prepared to test you if you've understood all what we have explained in these solutions?